And welcome back to the Squared Circle with Daphne.
And Nick, where we recap the matches and give commentary on what happened on both SmackDown and Raw, as well as any pay-per-views. Don't forget to pedigree and to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Triple H, your creative team, is absolutely killing it. And follow if you're on TikTok. Also, before we jump into SmackDown, our TikToks are blowing up, so take a look. But yeah, let's jump into SmackDown.
Yep.
AJ Styles versus LA Knight in that number one contenders match for Backlash. So SmackDown rolled out on a show that kicked off with a rematch of WrestleMania featuring LA Knight and AJ Styles. The wrestling was just not for glory this time, but it was for a shot at Cody Rhodes' WWE Universal Championship right here. Both of these guys definitely had spray tan mishaps, I will say, in the match. And both seemed to be suffering from it, judging by their mismatched arms and bodies. It was kind of wild. Styles clinched the win with a sneaky thumb to the eye and his signature phenomenal forearm, setting up a title fight with Cody at Backlash in France. You know, AJ Styles is just so good, but we just know he's not losing to American Nightmare. There's no way they're losing. So,
Nope. Next up, we had tag team titles and toss-up. So we had the tag team scene getting a shiny new makeover with new belts. Triple H and Nick Aldis popped in to present these sparkly new prizes to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. During Triple H's walkout, we solved another one of the Uncle Howdy glitch clues. It's on our TikTok if you want to check it out. It really is popping off.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. You didn't think that it was going to.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it just keeps on going and it's a little creepy. Anyway, there was a chaotic fatal four-way tag team match after the new belts were given. The featured teams clearly didn't share spray tan tips either. The tag teams performing were Akam and Rezar, right? Angel and Berto, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins soared to victory for the number one contender spot with moves and athleticism that made us pretty impressed.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And next we had the Kevin Owens and Bloodline segment. So Kevin Owens endured only what can be described as grotesque and unfair spectacle. He was manhandled into the ring by Tama Tonga, looking like he just survived a gruesome scene right out of a horror film. His head was bloodied and beaten. So much for the PG era, I will say that. Despite the apparent sabotage, the ever-resilient Owens tried to mount a comeback. While he did make a valiant rally and got a few licks in, odds were just stacked against him. It felt like some emo kid kind of wrote this segment with all the blood and all the anger and all the sadness. Like at the end, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga gloated over the bloodied up Kevin like Dr. Evil and Gru, revealing in their despicable handiwork. It was clear and infuriating display of the Bloodline's brutal tactics, leaving us seething at the injustice meted out to Owens. Like, what did Owens even do to y'all? But this wasn't just a match, it was a blatant mugging, and it was a message to us fans that this new unhinged bloodline, that this is the new unhinged bloodline. Roman, we need you back, man. Get those boys in shape.
Yeah. Start of a new bloodline? Question mark?
More like unhinged.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Carlito and Santos Escobar in what might be termed as the snack break match. Carlito, flanked by Zelina Vega, took on Santos Escobar, who brought his own backup with Elektra Lopez. The match was straightforward. It was just a straightforward scrap with Escobar pulling off a comeback win. It was quick. And while it showcased some moves, it left the crowd wanting just a little more zest.
I agree with that. And then finally on SmackDown, we had the Bayley and Naomi dance off, that's what I'm going to call it. Bayley and Naomi brought their A game in the best ring gear that they had, turning their match into what felt like a high octane beatdown. Just as the crowd was getting into the groove, Tiffany Stratton crashed the party as usual. Tiffy Time performed her prettiest moonsault ever on both Bayley and Naomi to cause a no contest finish. Classic Tiffany. She just loves the attention. That's just her. So
she has to be the center always.
Always.
From accidental comedy, courtesy of spray tans gone wrong, to high-flying tag team antics, the night moved pretty quickly. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga added a bit of blood and mystery to the mix, proving that SmackDown can blend telenovelas with sports entertainment like no other. With backlash approaching and a draft that could shake things up, we are locked in for the coming weeks. Now, time for Monday Night
Monday Night
Raw.
Raw. So now on to Monday Night Raw. If you guys notice that it's a different time of day, it's because we had to film this a little early, but that is okay. This is right after Raw. So our first segment for Raw is Jey Uso and Damian Priest. So we have Jey Uso who comes out talking about Backlash, and then we got Damian Priest who comes out and talks to Jey and kind of shares a sentimental moment with him from the past and their funny stories and how much that Damien respects Jey and how it was Jey that said, "Hey, Damien, look, man, we're next." And it was a sweet moment that turned very sour when Damien kind of backpedaled and said that that was only half the truth because it's Damien's turn, not Jey's. And then Jey came back all funny saying that Damien is only ahead of the Judgment Day because Rhea's hurt. And then we have JD trying to come out and sneak attack Jey Uso. But then you see Jey accidentally kick Damien in the face because it was aimed for the bobblehead. And then you just see Jey just yeet his way out of the ring.
Yeah. Next up, we have Awesome Truth versus DIY. It was a good show from both teams, but nothing super special. We've seen better from both of them. Awesome Truth retained their titles after landing a truth-crushing finale on Johnny Gargano. No surprise there. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got the Judgment Day tension. We kind of saw a behind the scenes look with Damien getting mad at JD for interfering when he wasn't even asked to. Dom enters with Santos, and Dom looking straight like Eddie Guerrero with that beautiful mustache. He says that Santos will be taking his spot in the tag team match since Dom is technically injured, and there's just been a lot of tension in Judgment Day.
Yeah, I don't think he looks like Eddie Guerrero, but anyway. Next up, we have Gunther and Imperium. Gunther comes in, says he isn't taking shots at Sami Zayn tonight, and actually thanks Sami for taking the weight of being champ off his shoulders because now he can go from hunted to hunter. He declares his participation for King of the Ring. Imperium is about to leave, but New Day shows up, and Xavier says that he's looking at the reigning King of the Ring and he plans on winning it again. The New Day pokes fun at Gunther. Gunther gets fed up and tells Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser to take care of them.
Yeah,
But
but we had a tag team match that turned up between Vinci and Ludwig versus the New Day. So the New Day put on a pretty good show. Kaiser and Vinci's performance was pretty okay, I would say. New Day seals the win, of course. We all saw that coming. And Gunther is pissed and storms out. Kaiser goes into the ring to comfort his partner. You know, he gives him a couple kisses on the cheek, a hug, saying, "Hey, it's okay." But it was not okay in any means of the word. Ludwig handed out a brutal beatdown to Vinci, leaving Vinci looking concussed. He did the stare thing that he did the Kofi about, I would say, 2 months ago with the feet, just run, jump, slams his head against the stairs. And you see Kaiser walk out standing tall while Vinci is obviously concussed. Kaiser goes in the back. Him and Gunther have a happy moment with each other where they get their trust together, and that was the whole thing.
yeah. Next, we have Drew McIntyre, who comes out and sits in the middle of the ring after the crowd greets him with CM Punk cheers. Drew declares himself for King of the Ring. Sheamus comes out and asks him, "What's with the pity party, dude?" He tells Drew that he needs to take responsibility for his mistakes and to stop blaming other people for his failures. Drew makes jabs at Sheamus's weight gain and gets him to break character. That was pretty funny.
It was,
He did actually address that on X
I bet.
earlier this week. But anyway, he tells Sheamus that people are making fun of him in the locker room and Sheamus ends up saying that he does not care. Drew says that he does and that he'll be sitting ringside to watch his back.
Yeah, and then after that segment, we had Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke is beating down Sheamus, but Sheamus fights back. Sheamus is so pasty. You can see every blow that Nakamura has dealt on his body because his body is so white. So Sheamus pulls the win with a bro kick, and Drew gives him the slow cap. There's a reason why we're laughing, and I'm not gonna say why, but okay, good thing I'm able to edit that and go on the fly. All right, definitely talking about Chad Gable's
Next,
segment.
we have Chad Gable. Chad says that he was
Justified. I'll just handle it. Justified because Sammy was rubbing it in his face. We saw that heel turn from Chad Gable last night. And really and truly, Chad said that he was wasting his time with a bunch of loser and goes in on Alpha Academy. Huge heel turn as we see. He says the entire Alpha Academy is going to help him win the Intercontinental Championship. The team does not look happy about it, but they all agree.
yeah. So next we have Andrade and Ricochet versus JD McDonough and Santos Escobar. We see quite a few high flying moves from Andrade and Ricochet. Crazy impressive acrobatics as always in this match. The counter gives Andrade and Ricochet the win, but Damian comes out and takes out Ricochet with a razor's edge and Andrade with a South of Heaven before going to JD and Dom and saying that he doesn't need them, they need him.
Yeah, we're gonna see Damian break away from the Jinite. So it's bound to happen. Finally, we had that women's battle royale for the
World.
the world championship. So it was an absolute chaos. We get down to Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, and Becky Lynch as the last three. Liv and Beck team up to knock Jax out, and the two go at it. But Becky secures the win after getting slammed through the table by Nia Jax, and she is our new women's world champion. How do you feel about that, Daphne?
I told you that it was going to
You
happen.
did,
I
and I
told
was
her.
saying Liv the whole time, but you were right. I
Uh-huh.
really thought Liv had that in the bag. Anyways, we're hyped up for Backlash. Looks like Backlash is gonna be awesome. And any lasting thoughts?
Oh, we kind of saw the QR code that popped up
Yeah,
from potentially. We all
check it
know.
on our TikTok. If
Yeah.
you found something out, then post it on our TikTok and let us know. But I'm pretty sure we solved it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
All right, guys.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.